Trigger warning. Trigger Studios is in the building. Trigger warning. The following stand-up show is rated PG-13. There will be light swearing, suggestive nudity, that's kind, and proper grammar, except for this sentence, which is technically a run-on, but don't quote me on it. Trigger warning. If you need a trigger warning before a stand-up comedy show in the year 2018, please share the mind-numbing drugs you have clearly been on since November of 2016. And now, please welcome back to Tora-Con in Rochester, New York, Uncle Leo. I appreciate the gesture, guys, but 5'8" going nowhere else. I'm glad that you've all made it out to the con. I'm glad that we shared laughs and we're carrying on. We're here to be nerds, so that implies us to talk about stories and characters that inspire us. So we learn a new game. It's me versus you. We've had a couple losses and a couple wins too. Whatever the dice roll, I'm just happy to play. I'm happy to see you, and I'm happy to say, game on, my friends, game on. So grab your badge quick, meet me in the dealer's room. Why are you already distracted? That's fine, we'll meet up again soon. Text me. Grab that poster, that trade, complete your collection, document your journey, and make a new connection. Leave a good impression. It's easy and true that you're the only one here who can enjoy being you. Game on, my friends, game on. So cosplay what you want. Be pretty or strong until you realize that you were always both all along. That stitch ain't no hitch, sew that hem. Nothing fits you, be your own crystal gem. Just strut your stuff, doesn't matter who won. You are an experience, you're here to have fun. Game on, my friends, game on. If you like tapping buttons, if you're that kind of fan, or if you like playing card games, keep tapping that mana. But always make space at the gaming tables. Help newbies feel welcome if you're ever able. Be the pathfinder you need to see in the world. Reach out to fanboys and hopeless fangirls. Game on, my friends, game on. So by the power of Grayskull, may the force be with you. Catch 'em all, go fast, and have your pops too. Moon Prism power, Thundercats ho! Keep looking up, Boomer lives! Enjoy your burrito. Avengers assemble, flame on, Excelsior. Sweet Christmas, Hulk smash, Titans go! Good night, Night Vale. Good night. Beware my power, Green Lantern's light. 1 minute to win. Round 3. Fight. Game over. Continue. Reload. It's gonna be alright. Don't be a dick. To thine own self be true. Evildoers beware. They can't take the sky from you. Game on, my friends, game on. Obvious round of applause has to go before I even get started to all of our volunteers, the staff of Tora-Con for putting this all together. You guys for showing up, it's amazing. My music guest handler and my partner, all of our guests that came out. And you'd think with all that stalling, I would have remembered my opening jokes. No. It's an honor for me to be asked back at Tora-Con. I love this stage. I love doing repeat shows. I think I have a real rapport with this audience. It's, to me, coming back to the show is a blessing. Blessing being a word that white people use when they're ignorant of their own privilege. I mean, it lets me say sentences like, well, there's a cop over there, let's just ask him for directions. What's the worst that could happen? What's he gonna do? Or things like, mayonnaise is too spicy for that potato salad. I don't get the big deal about Black Panther, like, it's just another superhero movie. Like, I don't get the big deal about it. Like, didn't we already have Blade back in the 90s? Or sentences like, we're having a gender reveal party. I don't care about the gender. I'm just happy it's a baby. Like, let's have a species reveal party. That'll get interesting. It's like a kaleidoscope. Like, you pick it up, we're having it. The dog says, woof. Whoa! Now I'm invested. It's a mystery. It's weird because I keep coming back to Rochester, and as this campus grows, I lose all my favorite parking spaces. We used to go around the back of, I think, the SCU, and there's a big parking lot, and now there is not the first ice skating rink, the second ice skating rink in Rochester, New York. This is upstate New York. Canadian geese don't even come here for the summer. They bypass. They fly right past. This is the one city where any Elsa cosplayer steps on and goes, have I been here already? My work here is done. You're safe, Olaf. Good job. This is Rochester. Permanent. February. Forever. When the sky's gray, you get suspicious. It is the end phase now. But they built up a second skating rink. They go to upstate New York and put in 2 buildings that require air conditioning permanently. Have you never been outside? There's a renewable green energy building that has these 3 massive wind turbines. They're going to catch the wind and generate electricity, and they put them behind a building that catches no wind. Put them in the quarter-mile goddamn walk. This whole day, it looks like a 90s Michael Jackson music video. Just set up a line of wind turbines. We will power the state. This is Rochester. To show you the self-esteem, what's our gastronomical contribution? The garbage plate. Garbage is in the name. A garbage plate is like introducing someone to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't do this out of love for you. I need someone else to validate my suffering. This is so weird. Yeah, keep going. It hurts, it just gets weirder. You wanna go for a second one? You're insane, absolutely. I don't know. As I get older, as I start to get older, I have different concerns I never did before. I found this giant whitehead pimple among my hairline the other day, and I thought, no, my face is gentrifying. I gotta pop this thing before it becomes a coffee house or a vape shop. Get rid of the gray hairs. A dog park is spawning on my face. But my anxiety is getting good now at starting me in these perpetual circles. Here's what most Friday or Saturday nights end up being. It's too cold, it's too late, I don't want to cook anything. I'm gonna order from a burrito place. It's burrito time. Wait a second. Oh no. It's raining outside. Oh no, the streets will be slippery. Oh no, delivery guy might crash his moped or like hit another car, and then he's gonna be bleeding out, his brain splattered everywhere on the sidewalk, and my burrito's gonna get soggy. And then his manager's gonna call me like, you were his last mission. You have to go and tell his family that he died trying to help you. And then I have to go knock and meet new people for the first time, and they're gonna want me to eat the burrito because that's what Jose would have wanted. And I got a soggy burrito, and I'm crying. And calm down. That's not gonna happen. That's never happened. Oh, I have a headache now. Oh, I'm really lightheaded. I'm really hungry. I could go for a burrito. Oh no! Not again! I'm sorry, Jose. Just wanted food. When I first started doing nerd-specific stand-up comedy at anime cons, like most panel presenters, I was just doing it for exposure. I would do it for free. The problem with doing anything for exposure is if you watch the Discovery Channel, you learn exposure is the only thing that can kill white men. It's like extreme sports and jogging at the beginning of a CSI episode. That will murder any white people. It's just that like we choose the stupidest sports that are not even sports, like bungee jumping, base jumping, skydiving. White people will play sports where the only other player is gravity. I don't know if you know this, but there's no underhand pitch for gravity. Down does not play down to your skill level. There's no off-season for falling. There's no Little League or T-ball for splat. The ultimate lawful neutral foe. But like any other sport, makes sense because there are points. Hockey is a sport. There's the puck, there's the net, they connect, you get a point. Basketball, the mechanics of the game are in the name of the game. The ball goes in the basket. Even ice skating has points. I don't know how they accumulate, but it makes sense. I understand it now. You've got Victor's finger, and you've got Erie's butthole, and eventually... I can apologize for that gesture, but I won't. Extreme sports, skydiving. White people will buy a plane ticket, wait until the plane is at its zenith, and then leave like it's a bus. I just get out here, it's fine. I'm in a hurry. It's anxiety causing. It's almost as bad as social media, which social media is just a public restroom that we all have to visit at some point now. Because you will go and meet people you never thought you didn't want to know were out there. Because going into a public restroom, especially along like 95 or a gas station bathroom, it's like social media, you open it and you always expect the worst of humanity. But when you finally find it, it's so much worse than you ever needed. You come in, it's so much bigger and more hateful than we ever imagined. It's so angry and green, it's on the ceiling, and that's before you ever type the word Shrek into a search bar. Or your name, the hedgehog. Darkness. All social media is just a public restroom. Facebook is just bathroom stalls, because it's just like, for a good time, call dad, don't you dare say that, and it goes on, and there's you'll never gain anything from reading it. And then Twitter is, I think Twitter's like those rogue squares of toilet paper that are just littered on the floor. What is that? Oh, that's so stupid, I'm going to ignore that. Why did I have my friend? I've got 6 of them now trailing me out of the bathroom. How? Why is it stuck to me? And then there's Tumblr. That's about what it deserves. Tumblr is the 13-year-old in the stall next to you drawing the dick on the wall and giggling because he's clearly the first to ever do that. But the stupidest thing you can do is read comments. Don't ever do that. Don't put yourself through that sort of idiocy. Don't read the comments under any video or any article. It's the only thing I can think of that would be dumber would be buying a plane ticket, waiting until it reaches its zenith, opening the... So condom snorting and Tide Pod eating set aside, I think we're dumb, guys. We might be dumb.
Well, I mean, the generations before us had goldfish swallowing, so...
Wait, what?
We're still going downhill.
At least that's edible.
They're not.
Blows my mind now that tabletop RPGs and Dungeons and Dragons are like not nerd popular, but just popular. When I was playing AD&D in middle school, I had someone, this guy I never spoke to, Otis Sampat, he leaned up behind me and said, "We're meeting at dance this weekend, we need a healer." I have a level 2 half-elf druid, 6 p.m. Did I just buy drugs? I'm one of the cool kids now. D&D is popular now. I personally blame Matt Mercer's hair. Turns out pretty people can play make-believe too. If you watch a live stream of people playing a tabletop RPG, it's a bunch of white people playing make-believe. The only difference between D&D and college improv shows is people show up for D&D. It is so much fun too. When you play enough Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm running a game right now for some friends, you learn that there are 3 sudden causes for almost any PC death, and they are suddenly falling, suddenly drowning, misreading your DM's sarcasm. I don't know, Ben. Why don't you try to finger bang the trowel? Your hand comes back covered in cobwebs, and your boy the beholder? Really? You tell it beauty is in the eye of you? Well, let's think. Chaotic evil, intelligence 420. It gives you the stink eye. Left swipe, laser beam eye. Cause it hates you. I swear to God, if you don't learn your saving throws, the next chamber pot your character uses is going to turn out to be a mimic. I'm so glad people got that one. It was between that and gelatinous cumin. Like, there's always room for gelatinous in a skit, but there's always room for black pudding. Oh, good times. Over the years, I have found that there are really two hobbies that are really welcoming. There's not really an issue within the fandoms. And for me, that is tabletop RPGs and the BDSM kink community. The reason I can say that is you have the exact same dialogue. Can you host? Do we really need a fifth? Are we in character now? I don't want your little brother tagging along. It's just we should be recording this. Hey, look, the chest. Who's bringing up the rear? We should have brought a lot more rope. And then you get home after a really hard night, let me rephrase that. And then you get home after a long, hard night, let me rephrase that. You get back home eventually and your mom asks, did you win? Nobody got pregnant or died, so we all won. I've been up here so long, I should probably talk about some anime, and I hope that you guys are really enjoying the sequel series to Naruto called My Hero Academia. It's about a bunch of young kids in a school learning how to control their different powers, and you've got humble green Naruto and his man crush, his frenemy, icy hot Sasuke, I call him Freezer Burn. And they learn to use their powers, and then they have a tournament, that's their field day, and they kiss. I don't know, I only learned about this from 4chan. Most of us. It's a great show. Another good show, I hope you guys are watching. I feel weird talking about this, but I used to talk about Iron Chef a lot, but there's an Iron Chef anime called Shokugeki Food Porn. Food Wars. So they got a hentai studio to animate all the shots of the food. That's like glistening, like it's covered in lube. Every food, and then like the characters also get this waft of like golden mist, like a president doesn't want you to release, or like they put Tinkerbell through a wood chipper and they're just kind of fanning it out there. Yeah, you enjoy that beef slowly. Enjoy that mouthfeel, yeah. That's it, yeah. And the show is amazing at making you think that anything is at stake, despite it being very well done. That's the only food pun you get. Except if you know anything about the food service industry, none of the show makes any goddamn sense. The judges throw out the most insane reasons to disqualify someone. So this is a show about a bunch of high school chefs, really talented, prospective people in a school dedicated around cooking. And to show how cool you are, you challenge other people to a food cook-off. And the judges will give you these ridiculous examinations like, even though you remade risotto by straining it through a camel's nostril, you failed to capture its inner chi. Like, I'm not here for a yoga lesson. Just say there's too much salt on it, you freaking hipster. I don't need your Yelp review. Just say it was too salty. I don't care. Because all of these kids are legacy chefs from like a long line of expert gourmands and restaurateurs. And if they lose the Shokugeki, if they lose the Iron Chef competition, they have to leave the school and suffer with their lifelong dream of working in a restaurant. There's no consequence. I don't know if you know this about the food service industry. It is easier to work in a restaurant than it is to split a bill at a restaurant. Key example, I wear all black and a silver tie. I have done stand-up at catering halls where everyone is dressed like me. I've stepped off stage and made make money. Oh, shokugeki. You are so veedy and delicious. Another show that we gotta talk about. I'd be fascinated to talk to someone whom this was their gateway anime, the one that got them involved into everything. And that is Attack on Titan. It's time. The thing is, watching Attack on Titan, it's so misleading. You think it's like a take on the zombie apocalypse because all humanity is hiding behind one wall and these monsters are coming through. You think it's a zombie apocalypse. Haha, I tricked you. Turns out it's not. And then you see like the cool maneuver gear that everyone's got on their hips and they're just launching grappling hooks from their belts. It's like, it's a steampunk anime. Ha ha ha, but I tricked you. Turns out that it's not. And then Captain Levi shows up and you think it's the gayest pilot and you are absolutely right. Because in Attack on Titan, you have to understand that Titans are terrifying. They are these super tall, they look like people, but they are these really tall, sunburned Scandinavian cannibals who also are nudists on top of that. And they all have the giant dead eyes of a shark. No, a doll of a shark. A doll of a shark that has worked human resources its whole life. Shh. These are monsters. And the weird thing about some of the Titans is you'll see some of the same ones popping up. They're all different heights and they're all different faces. Like they're people at some point, but some of them have like buzz cut hairs and really trimmed facial hair. Who's going out at night trimming the Titan's mustache? Who's thinking you need to look fabulous when you eat Aaron's mom tomorrow? I will help you live your dream, Jay. But Attack on Titan is about humanity on the edge of extinction, on the border of true psychotic breakdowns, and everyone is falling to their knees in blind panic and screaming, and by episode 1, your heart is pumping and you're so invested. By episode 3, it is exhausting. By episode 7, it becomes a drinking game. Because at this point, every human with a speaking role falls to their knees. We're all gonna die! Humanity's doomed! They look like people, but they're gonna devour our bodies and souls! We're all gonna die! And I sympathize with that feeling because I too have worked retail during the Christmas holiday season. I was 21 years old working at Best Buy on my 7th back-to-back 14-hour clothing shift, and the store CD was stuck on Feliz Navidad. I was in purgatory without the benefits. Oh good, it's the day after Black Friday. People have come with their return slips. Give me my drawer, Beth. I'll see you in the fields of Valhalla. You know something you should never hear from sane people? I miss Christmas music. I could go for some Christmas music. Let's put on some Bing Crosby. No. The holiday season is just prolonged psychological torture season. They're even dumber than club songs, which are so bland, repetitive, and self-aware. Christmas music is just to remind you, it's Christmas music now. Guys, time is now. Christmas time now. Time for Christmas now. Song for time now for Christmas. There's apparently a war on Christmas. If there is, Christians have won, okay? It's 3 straight months of songs reminding you what time it is according to us. And some people say, can we not listen to Christmas music right now? Infidel! Oh, you're really understanding now. If there's a war on Christmas in America, then there's a war on sunshine during the day. Then there's a war on salt in the ocean. We've kind of won. If that's your feeling about that. But there should be a season that just celebrates the end of the Christmas music season. That's what January should be. It should be, holy crap, we made it through another Christmas season music. Because some Christmas songs are outdated. They don't make any sense. We don't need them anymore. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Okay, let's get Holly's consent before we string up her entrails around this room like some pagan sacrifice. I don't think we want to do that. Some Christmas songs deserve a sequel. Grandpa hunted down Rudolph and got revenge for Grandma with a shotgun. But baby, it's unseasonably warm outside. Now's your chance to run! He spiked the drink this man get back in your box in the attic, you plastic lie. Or if you're all natural, oh Christmas tree, you're shedding worse than the cat. Out to the street corner you go. Gone away is the bluebird. Here to stay is a new bird. And the bluebird came back as well. And the bluebird came back as well. Turns out it's unseasonably warm enough to have a second spring, and now the local wildlife are starving themselves due to overpopulation and competition over food, but climate change is a lie. On the first day after Christmas, I threw out behind my true love's back 12 iTunes gift cards. Everything from Loot Crate. Found it cheaper on eBay. 9 Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. Why weren't you listening? You know I hate their coffee. 6 Overwatchkins. 5 cards from your siblings. I won't learn your nephew's names. 4 pairs of socks. 3 obscure pop figures. 2 anime cell phone charms. And your dad's Make America Great Again thong. Like many men, my generation, I have 2 very legitimate fears. One is, I will never see another good Sonic the Hedgehog game as long as I live. And I'm not talking Smash Brothers, which is the best Sonic the Hedgehog game and Mega Man game we've had in the last decade. I mean, a good Sonic the Hedgehog game. And I also fear the day that I inherit my father's colon. Every man or male-identifying person in this audience should feel and fear the day that they inherit my father's colon. Because negotiations end. You don't get a warning or a chance anymore. You get the Sonic the Hedgehog drowning music, and that's how long you have. Oh no! You were just at home! What are you doing now? You just got on the highway! Terror! Because my father goes over now to visit my sister and visit his grandkids, and what he's able to leave behind is the legacy of a spatter pattern that no human should be able to replicate. So I have some theories about what he's doing. I think maybe he's like standing on the sink and squatting, which I know he can't do because he has bad knees. He can't climb that way. I've started to theorize maybe he just has like a hippo tail that's spraying everywhere. Or my latest theory, he climbs up to the ceiling like a gecko and begins to twerk. I think he thinks it's a game of golf where the lowest score he gets is the best score. But it never gets better either. It's not even like a Jackson Pollock painting, because those have technique and color training. It's more like the first time you learn about Picasso's Guernica. Because you hear about the origins of it. He had ice cream after the clam chowder. What was he thinking? You know he's lactose intolerant. And then you see the sheer size of it. It humbles you because it's like 11 feet by 25 feet. And then you learn the events leading up to it, and it's terrifying. And then you learn he did it all in one night, in one sitting. And the true horror sinks into you like the Titans breaking through the wall. My God, mankind are monsters. We're just beasts hiding behind skin and loose-fitting clothing and philosophies and lies. I'm just saying, wipe the damn toilet seat once. That's all I'm asking. I don't think we even had the sex talk. I mean, I think we did. I don't think he was like, I don't think he was old enough to receive it, but he came into my room one night, and he sat down on my bed and he said, "Do you know? You're old enough to know. You have to know. Because you have the internet in your room. Do you know the signs of a heart attack?" "Yeah." "Do you know who to call if you see me having the signs of a heart attack?" 911. "Oh my God, all right, we're done here. Woo. Done the right thing, done the right thing. I got a friend who rents herself out to parties dressed as Disney princesses. Wait, let me say that again. I heard how that came out. That was a bit weird phrasing. I have a friend who is paid to go to children's birthday parties and play games with kids dressed as their favorite Disney princess. There we go, that sounds legal. And honestly, her favorite to do right now is Elsa, because I'll be damned if we're ever seeing a consistent summer again. But she loves going as Elsa because she's a singer as well. She can hit the high note, she can do Let It Go brilliantly. And I always think that she should do more gigs as Snow White, because if you think about it, Snow White is the only one who, after an hour, you could pass out on the couch and the kids would have to leave you alone, because you're in character. Who gave her a poisoned apple teeny? Oh, who let her touch the fruit salad? Womp womp. She's gonna be dopey and grumpy when she wakes up. More balloon animals. I keep thinking that would be fun. Obviously, I'm not gonna rent myself out as a Disney princess, but I don't really like any of the Disney princes. I think if I had to do a Disney princess, I would do Cusco. Or the ultimate newly adopted Disney princess, Kylo Ren. Because you show up to a kid's birthday party, dressed in all black, surrounded by all your white friends. Kylo Ren is just the alt-right Disney princess. Right? He's just wandering around, everything was better when my grandpa was in charge of things. Girls shouldn't play. Girls can't play. My grandpa once beat up a bunch of Jedi. Weren't they like toddlers who weren't even armed? Fake news! My grandpa says you're stupid. Gonna go cry in the corner now. That would be fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed the latest Legend of Zelda game for the Switch. Legend of Zelda, Elf versus Wild. I gotta spoil it for you. Wild wins! Wild has like lightning bolts and ogres, drowning, falling, and misreading the game. Most of your deaths in Breath of the Wild are, I don't need the hang glider for that, I can survive that. I can take that fall damage, it's fine. I got full health, what do I have to fear? Gravity! There was another game a couple years back called Hyrule Warriors. And they were really excited because they were promoting it wildly because they have a new female character in the Legend of Zelda franchise. Good job, Nintendo. They invented a new lady character in a world full of sexually ambiguous blonde elves, which feels redundant. Because to be honest, like, a Link cosplayer is just a Tinkerbell that hasn't earned their wings yet. It's such a small, short move. It's necessary, but I don't think they were listening. It's like when we told Disney, we want an ethnically diverse Disney princess. No more white princesses, we want something exotic. And Disney heard and said, well, we never had a Scandinavian princess before. Here's Elsa. Give us money. That's exotic. Yeah, they were saying playable girl character. Great. What's this character's name? Girl. Come on, Japan, try a little harder. Oh, Link. That's his name. I know you can barely tell them apart, but like, give us a better name. Girl Link. Come on, guys. Link. Girl Link. Linkle. They came up with Linkle. Or like the French version, La Link. That was them trying. And it's Link with pigtails and 2 crossbows, and they're done. Which makes no sense because in Breath of the Wild, Link has to dress in drag anyway! You dress him up like a girl anyway!
And he looks damn beautiful! If only there was a recognizable female character in the Legend of Zelda franchise. If only there were a character familiar with the fans of the Legend of Zelda franchise that had been in every game since its inception. Maybe in the beginning of every game, a playable female character would be mentioned. Like, I don't know, the title! Maybe I'm asking for too much. Low-hanging fruit, which is another thing you can say about Link when he dresses in drag. Ding! If you're not careful the way you approach it, fans will ruin anything that you want to love. Key example, Christianity. I love the book. I hate talking to people who claim to read the book. And if you're offended by that, try not being an intolerant hypocrite. Just once. Just try it. Which is why I'm such a fan of the Harry Potter franchise and the Harry Potter fandom. Most of them have read the book. Now, I'm one of those guys that did the book, did the movies, and then we went down to Universal Studios Florida and we went to the Harry Potter world. But I'm someone who was never able to take one of those tests like which Plinko board, which Hogwarts house do I belong to? Because you gotta be part of one of those four. But my test would always come back 24% Slytherin, 24% Ravenclaw, 20%, like 1% Muggle. I'm like, so am I the janitor? What's happening here? I never knew my place. But we went to the Hogwarts ride. And you get to walk through Dumbledore's office, and you go through the potions office, and the portraits will talk to you, and you see all the props from the movie, and right before you turn the corner to get onto the ride, the Sorting Hat, he's there. He or she, it's a piece of clothing, I don't care, it can identify it with as whatever it wants, it goes on my head. The Sorting Hat is right there. I'm gonna find out my place in this world, and I picked it up, put it on my head, and it sorted me. It put me right in the Orlando security office. You are not allowed to touch the animatronics, it turns out. You know what you do with that? I do love the Harry Potter world because J.K. Rowling, in her wisdom, made a bunch of things more dangerous by adding magic. So, Quidditch. Quidditch is rugby plus vertigo. And you've heard me talk about sudden falling damage enough in this show to know that's terrifying. How can I make rugby more deadly? Which is like asking an ice hockey player, how would you like a spiked pit and a live panther to be on the ice? It's like they staple their nose back together. Like that at all. Quidditch. Get your broom, go up, try not to die. Have you guys caught on that there are colleges that have real Quidditch leagues? That will mean it's amazing! Did you know that it's on TV? You can find a sports network playing Quidditch, which is a bunch of like white teenagers with, instead of brooms, they take like relay sticks and just boom, shove them right up the Gryffindor. They're like 4 inches wide, running around. I'm an athlete. I'm on TV. Question, who cleans those batons? The losing team, maybe? Or they default to the Hufflepuffs. I briefly dated a bludger for her college team. I'd never seen a live Quidditch game before. I thought it was gonna be like a LARP, which would have made it so much cooler than what I watched. It was a field for 2 hours straight of like 30, 20-somethings, none of them sober, with brooms and metal sticks between their legs, basically playing dodgeball and tackle football. It looked like soccer hooligans were getting really rowdy at the bar, and the cleaning staff asked them to turn it down, and they took the fight outside. So after like 2 hours of just a blind tackle, my girlfriend comes back, the metal broom she's had between her legs is bent in 3 places. Hey, slugger, did you win? I don't know. I don't care. Bruised all down her inner thighs, big black eye on her face. Oh, are you okay? Yeah, you gotta drive. Let's go, you get to meet my dad. You are Slytherin, so maybe he'll expect it, but Friends, there are people who will tell you that the truth will set you free. They are full of shit. I got to drive a bruised, injured woman home to meet her 6'3" retired police commissioner, Long Island father. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Castellano. Oh God, Haggard was an extended family. Okay, hi. You've probably heard of, you noticed too. Yeah. The truth is, she's a wizard, Larry. Yes, no, familiar, no. Obliviate. Mischief managed, I will see you next week, slugger. I met my Patronus. I know that sentence makes no sense for Harry Potter fans, but in the Harry Potter world, there are these horrible wraith-like creatures called the Dementors. They look like a homeless cat lady's bed shawl that's been animated, and their job is to hover around, and they suck out all the good memories, and they suck out your ability to feel joy and love and hope. It's like, we get it. It's like getting divorced while still in middle school. We get it. Sadness forever. Okay, fine, moving on. And in order to combat these, every wizard has like their own Digimon stand persona little animal that's made of like white glitter. It's a common animal you shoot out your wizard dick. There's no other word for it. Expecto Patronum! And then your happy memory and your little ghost deer for Harry Potter like scares the Dementors away. I met my Patronus. Every January, State College in Pennsylvania will have Setsucon, Snow Anime Con, and they have the Penn State Creamery. They have some of the best ice cream I've ever had. How good is it? I will drive to the middle of Pennsylvania in January to tell jokes about Pokemon for an hour for this ice cream. Because they keep scooping, and the I wanted to call them baristas, but that's not it. They have too much life in their eyes. They're ice cream scoopers. They have these like huge Hulk Hogan forms because they're just scooping solid ice, and they put 2 scoops on top, and they're the size of your head. And I'm sitting down. I'm about to have the smoothest, creamiest Cool Mint that I've been waiting for since last year. And this 5-year-old girl, could be older than 5. Walks into the creamery and does this. That's my Patronus. I could be in a cramped subway car between Neil Patrick Harris and Neil Gaiman, and I will not feel what that little girl is feeling right now. Nothing feels better than a 5-year-old girl about to consume half her body weight in sugar. About to be joyously awake for the next 3 days straight because ice cream. And I know that would be terrifying, but if you're surrounded by Dementors and one guy comes up, I got this. Suck him, Tammy, get him! Yes, yes, yes! I think they'd be more scared of that than like a ghost crab or some crap. This is a tiny girl with spears of ice cream like a Wakandan bodyguard. You run from that too. It's not supposed to be someone you know. Know who disagrees with that? Tammy! We have, You're still thinking about that, sperm deer out of the wizard dick joke, aren't you? Obviously. Always. Oh, really? Oh. Put that away, Sever me, baby. That got dark. Who'd have thought all these years and generations of global warming that we would end up giving Mother Earth hot flashes? That's what I think is crazy about this weather. I think we've given the planet menopause. That's why she's irrationally like always cold, then she's hot, then she's cold, then she's hot, turning on the AC, turning off the AC, turning on the Canadian winter, turning off the Canadian winter, all of a sudden. I think it's that she's trying to throw us out of the house, and can you blame her? As a species, we've been really shitty kids. It's been 10,000 years, and we've never picked up after ourselves. You know, we're the kids who walk over to the ocean, just throw out our dirty laundry, and then keep fishing. I hate you, National Park. When's dinner? Can you blame her for wanting to get rid of us? She's probably just getting mad, like, why haven't they left? You know, after a couple million years, the dinosaurs went off to Mars. I should probably tell them that. They would love to visit you. I'm not trying to push you off because I want to turn South America into an office or a den. Just want you to leave. I think we might owe Mother Earth this one. But things get relabeled all the time, usually by the bad guys. The Death Star becomes an alternative diplomatic solution. Slavery becomes internships. Global warming. Well, that's dumb, because if you stand in some place long enough, the globe gets warmer. It used to be called summer, so we had to rebrand it. All right, so some places are still getting colder. We need a big catch-all phrase, climate change. Yeah, that catches everything. It's too vague. It's too vague, because if you wait somewhere long enough, the climate will change. It'll get hotter, it'll get colder, or people will get dumber. It's like calling a Walmart white trash and day drinking. Just wait long enough, it shows up automatically. Struck a chord with that one. We gotta relabel it. We gotta call climate change something that immediately makes people angry and makes them think, I need to kill this immediately. Something that is just bipartisan, everyone hears it, they want it dead, they want it out of their lives. So I propose we call climate change and relabel it Bill Cosby's boner. Why should it be Bill Cosby's boner? One, because only one guy cheered at that. So you know it's popular. Two, it's doing irreparable damage. It's consuming my island of Manhattan. It's trying to sink Florida. It's wiping out the wildlife. Bill Cosby's boner is cracking off chunks of Antarctica. Don't you understand this? It's leaving polar bears to struggle in starvation and die as they're sinking, and their last words are to curse Bill Cosby's boner. We've known about it for years. We didn't do shit against it, and now we're paying for its consequences because no one would take anyone seriously when they talked about Bill Cosby's boner being a problem, being a threat. We just decided, well, we can just sweep it under the carpet. Nice try. It erects and lifts up the carpet. Now that horrible stain is coming back. You understand? It's displacing millions of West Asian refugees. It's drying up Northern California. Bill Cosby's boner is our fault, and if we don't man up or vag up, we need to go up. Bill Cosby's boner will summon the Neptunian forces of Aquaman. It will sink us. He will reclaim the coast on a wave of shark, kraken tentacles, and Bill Cosby's boner. Want that for San Francisco? Don't have San Francisco, but do you want that for San Francisco? I grew up as a kid, and that's the stupidest sentence I've ever started. I come from a long line of women. What is it like inside the mind of a true idiot? Now, if you're lucky, you'll meet like 2 true idiots in your life. Whenever you enter a place for the first time, you should just wear a sign that says, "Hi, I'm new and dumb." Because nothing's ever consistent. That's the problem with adulthood, is that's every day. Every time you enter a new building, that's why I'm so happy to come back to the same con again and again. I'm not wandering backstage like, can I smoke back here? Where's the bathroom? Can I charge my phone? Anytime you enter a room for the first time, you were someone else's dumb person. So just when you meet someone new and you don't know what to talk about, just go, "Hi, I'm new and dumb, help!" Well, just admit it that we didn't know crap. We'd be such better people. But what is it like inside the mind of a true idiot that never gets beyond self-awareness? And the cop pulls him over. You're doing 65 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. Where's the fire? I'm in my car now! Do you know why I pulled your car over? Yeah, this is my car. It's got a stick for a D for forward, and there's an R for backwards. Please step out of the car. License and registration. Yeah, this is my car. I'm gonna go vote. I grew up loving Spider-Man. He was my boy because I had the comic books and I could watch his animated series early in the morning if I got up early enough. When I moved to New York City, I began to worship Spider-Man because he's the only superhero who can cross Times Square and all those tourists during rush hour without buying a goddamn Metro card. That is a superpower. He can stick to walls. He can make use of a 5-foot by 5-foot apartment sublet with an 8-foot ceiling. Oh, Parker, that right here, Peter. You're a hero to all. But I could never write Spider-Man comics. I don't think I have the imagination it takes to write for Marvel Comics, because you need imagination to believe that Spider-Man villains are a threat to anyone but bank vaults. Let's break down Spider-Man's rogue gallery, which are really just old guys in half-assed fursuits. For example, the Vulture, an old dude in a hang glider. He's not going through supervillainy, he's going through a midlife crisis. Not a threat. Doc Ock, creepy steampunk scientist guy who's like creeping over from Dragon-Con and never knows how to break character. Not a threat. The Rhino. He's more dangerous to concrete walls. They should get him a job at the damn MTA, just knocking old stuff down and rebuilding it. Not a threat. The Scorpion, oh yeah, an angry bug with an angry squirting butt. That is not a threat to anyone. Not dangerous. What about the Green Goblin? That's the Hobgoblin, but with mold. Maybe Spider-Man has an allergy. I got him now. My favorite Spider-Man villain used to be Venom, because Venom had every power and memory that Spider-Man had, and Spider-Man realized the symbiote was evil and he threw it away, and then the symbiote crawled away like, oh, you let me down, you gave me the runaround, you deserted me, I will ridiculously this, and he bonded with Peter Parker's worst living foe, Eddie Brock, and they became stronger and faster than Spider-Man, and the spider sense didn't even work, but if you break it down, it's a piece of clothing that bonded to someone you hated. Venom is not only like the black t-shirt that you got from an ex-girlfriend, he's also the ex-girlfriend. She started, take back the shirt you hate! Oh, stop it, I've got Quidditch in the morning, leave me alone. My new favorite Spider-Man villain has got to be Kraven the Hunter. We're not gonna see him in the movies. I don't think so, But for me, he's the original Lion King. Kraven the Hunter is this beefy Russian dude who hunts the most dangerous prey on Earth. A teenager. Not even a giant spider, just a teenager who thinks he's a spider. He's been trying to kill Peter Parker since 1964, and he's never thought to bring a solo cup or a roll-up newspaper. How do I kill Spider-Man? He's a teenager. Hate spam him on Twitter. Take away his phone. He'll be powerless. Shame him for dressing like that. It's too tight-fitting. Take away his phone. I don't know if Iron Man likes my tweet. How will I live? Notice me, Stark Senpai. I'm sad now. Kraven the Hunter unironically wears a lion face, a lion mane like a boa, like he's about to enter RuPaul's Drag Race and win! To bust in like NASCAR and just start cracking skulls. And I watch that. My partner and I spent our honeymoon in the motherland. Not their motherland. So my partner, her parents are of Chinese descent, so she's Asian American. But people always ask, where are you from? And the answer is Connecticut. They're Connecticutese. They're born and raised in Connecticut. How I know? They've said sentences like, where's the yacht? That's how this works. Now I've started to think, with Black Panther out, the next time someone asks you, where are you really from? Just go deadpan and say, originally? Africa. We are all from Africa. Hi, brothers. We went to Japan for our honeymoon, and as an anime fan, you'd think that's the motherlode. You think it's the motherland, but you have to know before you go to Japan. They don't tell you this in the travel shows or the YouTube blogs, but Japan has a lot of Asians. Okay, so you already knew. I'm seeing some nods. That's good. Some people get surprised by it. They're Canadian geese or something. But no, it was so overwhelming and so gorgeous and beautiful. And we went to Tokyo, and I thought as a New Yorker, I can go through Tokyo. Tokyo made me think I had dyslexia because I can't read Japanese. And everything blinks and everything flashes, everything's on a rotating giant mechanical sign. Tokyo is like a kid with ADD got together with a pop-up ad and said, let's build a city and make it go that way forever! And they did. And it's disorienting. but I didn't like it. I loved the food. We went to an island populated only by cats and old people, and if we didn't get off the island by sunset, I think we'd become one. We went to a Japanese high school. Let me rephrase that. I waited until I could, then I snuck into a Japanese high school to finally find out, as a 90s anime fan, if there are more than 3 rooms. The school, the classroom, the hallway outside the classroom, the roof, and that's it. I think it was until Persona 5 that I even saw a school gate or a shoe room. What could this possibly be for? Show me your ways. We went to not an exotic animal cafe, not a cat cafe, because we went to all 3 in New York City. So we went to an owl cafe, which is mislabeled because it's a room full of owls. What I loved about this room was they don't tell you the owls are just right by the door. So we came in, please take off your shoes. Okay. Oh, it's really dark in here. And then they turn on the light, and I had 6 pairs of bright black eyes. Hello, I eat your face. Oh, he one of us, I not eat you face. But you get to hold the little ones, and you get to hold the great big horned owls, and they're so light and so majestic and so beautiful. But there was one owl that had really bad advertising. There was a beautiful white snowy owl. You've seen them before, they're so gorgeous. He just sat under a sign that said, "Do not touch stupid owl." Which is really poisoning the well when you think about it. That's horrible advertising. Hello, you're new, I'm dumb, welcome. Why are you calling that owl stupid? Well, he's not trained yet. If people touch him, he bites them. We're trying to teach him not that. Yeah, but you gotta call him dumb. And then I learned why. He stood next to an oscillating, rotating fan, and the whole night just stood there smiling, but closing his face whenever the fan got close. Be quiet, friend. Every public restroom in Japan is in a secret competition over what could be the most luxurious experience you've ever had. I mean, they play water, they play music, everything gets its own cubicle, the seats are warmed, and there are more buttons than an N64 controller, and they're laid out the same way. Except it reclined, I got a massage. I didn't understand what to do. I felt bad doing what I had to because no one had ever treated me so nicely on first impression. Mainly because I enter every room going, help, I'm dumb and need to poop. So I found a button that had like a W and a fountain. And I pressed the button. And I learned what a bidet was. It is a wonderful, sensational feeling. It's perfect temperature, it saves on toilet paper, and like any other user interface design, if you press the same button, you assume it turns off. That is not the case. I was sitting there pressing every button, so it's shaking, it's singing to me, like these little Sailor Moon keychains are popping out the side of it. And I know I have to leave, but I can't stand up because water's just gonna ruin everything. But I need to think fast because I can feel myself getting pruny. I don't know where my partner is. My phone doesn't work in Japan. Now, I grew up watching anime, so I know how to call for help. But I also grew up watching hentai. So I know that screaming things like, please somebody come and help me, please make this stop, someone help. No one will come and help you. Alternatively, when we got to Hong Kong, every public restroom was in a very different competition. What could be your Schindler's List? I've never been so scared. But the food in Hong Kong, ooh, there's one thing Chinese people do great, and that is eat. Oh my gosh, everything there was so fresh. I went to a Michelin-style dim sum restaurant. Yeah, it's a pork bun. I've had so many pork buns. Why does this get 5? Leave the cart. Is this crack? Am I finally on a good drug rush? It was so good, and what I love most is the people people running the shops, they're not like these young 20-somethings trying to sell you on their philosophy. Hi, I just need a coffee. Actually, we call it a liquid yoga refreshment vibration. I don't need a mailing list, I just need a coffee! I don't need your philosophy, I want a sandwich! Actually, we're calling them gluten in case I will stab you! So when you go to Hong Kong and you just see this dead-eyed, like a titan, just sealing up the dumplings and then pan-frying them, all their eyebrows have been singed off from years of standing over the fried oil, and their face is just saying, that's who you buy your food from. This is an expert. They're not gonna try to sell you on a philosophy or rename food. They're just gonna give you an amazing food experience. So go to Hong Kong. Oh. I never thought I would get to this point. It is for me sincerely always an honor to come back to Tora-Con, and that is because you ask every time for me to come back. I didn't get the chance to make this part of my farewell tour last year, so I'm honored that you invited me back this year. And the reason I can stop performing at conventions, trying to make a job where there's no job to be had, is I still love going to cons. I still love talking to people. I still love the whole experience. I've said everything over the last 10 years that I wanted to say, which is like, include people, watch this show, love this show. If someone has a difference of opinion of you, find out why and make a new friend. So I guess all that's left is to say what I need to say, which is, thank you. Holy crap, thank you so much for listening to something you've probably never seen before in America, an old white guy yelling about cartoons. I think you have 4 guests here this weekend that's all they do. I will say these fans today, these kids today are so much more than we give you credit for. Mine is the Columbine generation. We dropped the ball on making the world a better place for you guys after us. We did political correctness, but it was tongue-in-cheek. It was insincere, because it never got bad enough for us. Now, my friends want to join your friends and start playing, start learning, start reimagining what it even is to be a fan, to be human. That we're even breaking apart gender. Like, it's not just Nido King, Nido Queen, it's more like Ditto. I'll try this for a while. How'd you like it? I'll Bulbasaur it later on. We're playing with gender and starting to realize it is a spectrum of things we've never seen before. Like the invisible light spectrum. Like the autism field, like any medium of art, like colors, like feelings, like micro niches in a sci-fi blend, like galaxies. And nerds need to step up. Geeks need to stand proud and be loud, because the storytellers and the story keepers were the ones that make culture what it is and give it something worth remembering. And the importance of seeing stories of people with color and girls rising up to save the day, it's partly that it inspires those kids too. I finally see myself in that. But it's also to remind the old, grizzled white guys like me that we're not gatekeepers. It's not our table. If we're sitting at a table, it's because we have the chance to pull up another chair, bring someone into the conversation, and say, how do you feel about that? Me? Never thought of that before. What we have the chance to be now is to be the Dungeons and Dragons party, as opposed to the stereotypical Dungeons and Dragons players. That we can believe in magic. That we can embrace it. So I'll wrap up with this one. I wrote this originally for the closing events for the last show that we ever did for PonyCon, but I feel like it just resonates today too. This is called The Word of the Herd. We need the elements. Never spent, never bent, Never mind what the haters or the trolls meant. Their comments will not harden nor cement. We need faith in friendship to the end ship. Despite the distance, join up the resistance and sound the alarm that no matter who promises harm on me or to leave a scar on me, will stand to the joy and bring out the charmony of harmony. Be honest to the best of us. What that meant to us was that you'd be true and confess to us, be right and left of us, and when they press against us and mess with us, you'd honestly hold up the crest of us, and that you'd stand for the rest of us. May the outside world be surprised by us. Let them accept and be fine by us, nice to us, not to blindly undermine or whine, but shine and pull a Fluttershy and maybe be a little kind to us, so that maybe they'll see that we bleed and feel and fade the need to cry with us, until we spread loyalty to what we've learned and earned, sample our ample example and ignored what's been spurned, and we turn the world to the herd mentality for which we yearn, that love would take the reins of our brains and retaliate. Loyalty not to me versus them, but it hems the greater tapestry and stems from reciprocity and a new order beyond borders, and we adjourn to learn in trust and return to love. That every fan reach out with generosity, reciprocity, and that our only ferocity is harmony. See what we mean and return to the peace that we need to see and believe that what we can achieve. And after the conflict, bring on the laughter, not half of it, but show that the darkness is laughable, not affable or contagious in any time or ages, under any reign of any mages who would gauge our way and bring pain to us or steal the stage from us. Show them responsibility and friendship is ageless and raised cageless, and show our hearts open and rageless, and their hate will not faze us. For all the cynics, may they believe in the need to see magic and the surge and the urge when a community hears the word of the herd against all that is tragic and the madness of today. May they who say nay hear the word they deserve, need not conserve or be concerned that harmony and love will find a way. No matter what the voices out there or the voices in here tell you, look around you. You are not alone. Guys, weird is fun. And I don't know if you know this, but fun is really good. So you know what? Go ahead and be weird. Have fun. This has been an amazing experience for me, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming out. My name is Uncle Yo, and you know that the show is a go, but I gotta go. So live, laugh, and know. See you, Space Cowboy.